All right.
Okay. So 5, we'll call the meeting to order. First item is citizens' input. Is there anyone that wishes to address the board? Does not look like it. No delegations. Can I get a motion to approve the agenda?
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda.
Second. Got a motion and a second to approve the agenda. I do roll call, don't I? Can I just do regular? Okay, all those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed say no. Motion carried. Minutes.
Make a motion to approve.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the minutes. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed say no. Motion carried. Approval of the financial reports is next.
Anything big in the bills you guys want to point out? Or out of the ordinary?
What's the design fee on page 18 for? That's for Jeremy. Like a Severa design?
Civarella, that's the design for the Cadwell press box.
That's what I thought. I just saw on 16, was that for the treadmills and the rest of the, yep. I guess the only other thing is on page 8, there was a batter's box.
Chalk boxes?
I think it just said batter's box in the description. I'm not sure what.
For about,
About
how much was it?
7,000?
Yep, those are jock boxes. The Women's Softball Association came last year. We got some problems, or not problems, but it's issues with the AgriLime. AgriLime doesn't pack. You can't put clay in there. It'll mix together. Clay goes away. We don't have tarps. So we bought jock boxes, and Women's Softball is going to pay half of those jock boxes. We got 8 of them. We're going to put them in the right-handed batter's box. 95% of the people are right-handed, and look at how well they do, and maybe go to left-handed if needed. But
Thank you.
And they did already pay their half.
That's the only questions I have. Anybody else has any? Motion when anyone is ready.
Motion if I can. I think I can.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything in there.
I'll second.
So we have a motion and a second to approve the financial reports. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed say no. Motion carried. Department reports.
I'll start. So as far as programs go, we wrapped up our fall-winter stuff here in the month of March and April. We finished up our youth wrestling program at the end of March, and then our men's basketball finished up here at the first week of April. So that kind of concluded all of those programs. Our summer brochure went out last Thursday to the schools, and it's online now. Online registration starts this coming Monday at 8 o'clock, online only, and then walk-ins can come in starting on Wednesday the 19th. I might as well get into some of this now, but in our brochure, as far as like our swim lessons go, I think we kind of talked about it last meeting on our lifeguard shortage. So we do still have a lifeguard shortage and a swim instructor shortage, and so some of the swim lessons in the brochure are not going to be available at this time, so they're hidden online. If we're able to get some more instructors and lifeguards, we'll add those and make those available as we get more staff. We're dealing with that for the outdoor pool and the indoor pool, obviously. We opened up the indoor pool on April 3rd, and everybody's happy that it's open, and it's great. People are back to getting in there and exercising and swimming. But we do, for open swim, we do still have a severe shortage. And so right now we're concentrating, we're kind of going month by month as far as an open swim where it's guarded schedule. And sometimes it's week by week. But we're trying to make sure we have enough guards for the weekends, for Saturdays and Sundays from 1 to 5. And then during the week, we're trying to go Tuesdays and Fridays if we can get guards. There's some Fridays and Tuesdays we can't, just with all the activities and stuff that they're in right now and things like that. So we're kind of going month to month with that schedule. But for the upcoming summer, that's where we're really short. To have both pools available, we need 35 guards minimum to make it work to have open swim at both the indoor and the outdoor, along with swimming lessons at the same time. Currently, right now, for sure, we have 15. So we're very short. And we're not the only ones. I mean, every town is dealing with this. And so we're not the only ones in this problem. But so what we're planning on doing, she has 15 confirmed. We've got 10 that are currently trying to take the lifeguard training course and pass that. There's no guarantee they're all 10 going to pass. But if we can get to 20, let's say, what our plan is to not have open swim in the indoor for the summer. I mean, it's the summertime, and we want to concentrate on the outdoor pool. You can still come in and swim at the indoor pool if you come in with a parent or you're 18 or over. Just the play features won't be on and things like that. But we want to make sure that our outdoor pool gets opened up, and so it'll be a little bit limited as far as we might close a couple hours early. There might be areas that might not be open on a certain day or for a certain amount of time during that day. She thinks she can go to a 9-person rotation and still be okay, but there's no guarantee we're going to have 9 every day. It takes 13 to be fully staffed on a given day to be guarded, and then it takes another 4 for swim lessons. And so if we close at 6, let's say swimming lessons start at 5:30, she's going to try and have 4 classes at a time versus the 4 to 7 or the 6 to 7 classes that she has at a given time. And so, but if we can get these other, I mean, I don't want to say we're going to get these other 10 to pass and everything, but if we can, that'll put us in decent shape for the outdoor pool at least, and then we can go forward from there. So.
Could you talk a little bit about the overtime limitations when it comes to kids who work inside versus outside?
Yeah, and that's the thing is if you work, that's why we like to have 35 for the summer, because if you work in the indoor pool at all, then you cannot go over 40 hours because that's considered a year-round facility, and so you're eligible for overtime, and we don't have a budget for part-time for overtime for that. So to try and make it, she tries to have 2 staff if possible, one for the outdoor and one for the indoor. Some can cross over that don't have a whole lot of hours, but most work at one or the other. And so that puts some limitations on you. So by going to just the outdoor pool, if we have a limited number of guards, if we can get them to work as much as possible, we don't have to worry about them going over 40 hours for the week. So, because we'll have to have them do lifeguarding and swim instructors. So that kind of puts us in a little bit of a hole there.
It'd be great to be able to offer a couple of weeknights as well for a couple of hours, but as Kevin explained, our priority is going to be that noon to 6 or 1 to 6 window.
Yep.
And we'll work from there.
Yep. So that's kind of what we're shooting for right now. And I planned on seeing, if you guys had any thoughts on it, we could discuss it here, but I kind of wanted to put an email out to everybody tomorrow to kind of let them know for the swimming lessons for sure that, hey, this is some of the ones that are in the brochure, you're not going to see those online. Here's why we're not going to see them online. Here's what we're thinking as far as, the hours at the pool and things like that. So I kind of wanted to get that out.
And if we gain instructors going into May, we can open other sections.
Yep, and we'll send out emails on that. And we're trying to, the ones that we cut are the ones that aren't as popular. Some of the upper ones, like the 5s and 6s. And even, I know some of them are popular, but even the young ones, if you're 2.5, if you miss one summer, you're going to be okay, and we'll try and have some more in the fall, winter. So that's kind of how we went about doing that. Those 1s and 2s, so those 1s and 2s and 3s are, the most popular, and we're tried to keep as many of them as we possibly could. So that's kind of the story with the whole pool and the lifeguard thing. And we did increase their wages, and so they're we're trying to attract them that way. But it's still I don't know what the issue is. I mean, it's a combination of a lot of things. I mean, wages from other places are getting higher.
The unfortunate part is the timing of the pool being closed for
Yeah.
3+ months when kids
That-
were needing their jobs back, and they take that.
We probably lost at least 10 to that over the course of the winter, to where they found other jobs or they got some internships where they were going to come back. And that really hurt. At least 10, I think we lost. Could be more than that even. So that did hurt being down. So, but this was kind of coming anyway. So, but that's kind of the deal with the pool right now. Does anybody have any questions about that? Any thoughts?
If there's reduced hours at the pool, is the pool membership for the summers, is it still same price?
It is. We talked about that, and it is going to be the same price. Yep. It's not real. I mean, from 6 o'clock to 8 o'clock, it's not real busy to be anyway. And so we had talked for the last couple of years about closing at 7 anyway instead of 8. And so the majority of the time is between that 1 and 4 o'clock time. That's the most busy time.
That may steer more people toward a daily pass versus a
Yeah.
season pass.
Yep. And we've seen that anyway in the last couple of years. Our people, our day passes have gone way up versus memberships. So
It's nice to keep the kids active every day. I understand as a parent.
yeah.
You still planning on being open every day then, or?
As of right now, we're hoping to. I mean, if we can pick up a few more. I mean, I know there's a few towns that they're going to maybe close like on Mondays and Tuesdays. Some of them gave up their swimming lessons. So I consider us semi-fortunate that we can have some to start. And so, and again, I'm being optimistic, hoping that these other 10 can pass and we can have at least 25 for that outdoor pool, which would be not ideal, but it'd be a lot better than where we're at right now. Because with 15, I mean, like I said, to be fully staffed, you need 13, and we can't expect 15 part-time kids to work every day all summer, 5 to 7 days a week. So, so if anybody's looking for a part-time job, we've got them. We've got them. So, and it is it's a lot of responsibility, but it is a really good job. I mean, it's good atmosphere. You get to see a lot of people, meet a lot of people, interact with kids and parents. I mean, it's
Work on your non-power blowing whistle.
absolutely, yep. So, other than that, our remodel for the old pool is going well. They cut the hole in the wall to where the opening is going to be, and so that's good. Right now, we've got our back gym is closed down for a maximum of a month. We're hoping it's a little less, but they're taking out all the pipes and stuff in that back gym where the HVAC was, and they're going to be putting all of that stuff in there. They've cleaned out the boiler room, getting ready for the new cooler in there. And so once, I think by end of May, early June, the room's going to be kind of looking like it's going to look, besides the air conditioning unit. So here in the next month and a half, it's going to start coming together pretty nicely. So, but we've been busy. Kids are still coming, whether it's hot and cold or whatever. They're still coming, and we're still busy and plan to be for the next month and a half. We did hire a new preschool assistant. I think I told everybody before that Mrs. Baldwin is retiring at the end of this year after 40-plus years of being the head preschool, and so we did hire a new one, so we're excited about that. Any questions?
Thank you.
Okay, last month, obviously we're still doing snow removal. Hopefully we're done with that now for the rest of the year. After 2.5 months, probably 3 months, we were able to get back doing some tree work or removals. Hauled out probably 3/4 of our tree pile from behind our shop. We had traffic department make us some signs for the campground. One of them is the no burning trash, because we had people burning trash, and it's in the rules that they're not supposed to do that, but yet we didn't really have it posted, so we're trying to make it more visible that deter people from doing that. And the other one is that we only allow tents in tent sites. We would have people try to set up small campers, or if they're traveling in a van that's kind of set up as a camper, try to sneak by and use a tent site instead of getting a regular RV site and paying more money. Other than that, just our maintenance on equipment, our new mower got delivered. We were able to put up the tennis nets finally, and high school boys tennis practice and matches have started. We've removed the 2 old umbrellas at the outdoor pool, so 2 of the new sunshades can get installed, and that guy's been working on that. Other than that, just cut and split some more firewood when we can to sell at the campground. Doing interviews for seasonal staff. Like Kevin, we're still looking for staff. I could probably still use another 5 or 6 people to kind of fill out our staff. Any questions?
What's going on with the campground hosts that we can't?
Our campground hosts were planning coming back. One had health issues that's kind of keeping them away. They thought that they would be better and be able to come back. The other ones decided that they're from Florida, and FEMA's renting their lot for other campers, and they're trying to sell property there and I think in Arizona and try to buy a house. So they're kind of busy, tied up with that. By the time we kind of found that out at the end of March, and we're trying to advertise for campground hosts on workcamper.com and stuff like that, everybody's pretty much got their positions for the summer. We found a couple, people, we interviewed them, we offered it to them, and they turned us down. We had an interview the other day, and the couple sounds really good. They're actually coming tomorrow to meet with us at the campground. So hopefully we got at least one set, keeping our fingers crossed. And then today we interviewed another couple by phone, and they're waiting to hear back on 2 previous commitments that they're in talks with to see what happens there.
What's the plan if you don't fill one or both?
The plan would be to try to do it as much with the staff we are limited to now, as far as cleaning the restrooms, stuff like that. We have one guy that works Saturdays that would hopefully, help do Saturdays. Sundays, it's going to be kind of iffy, but that's usually when people are packing up and leaving, type of thing. If I'm not able to fill my other positions, it's really going to put a lot of strain on what we already have to do.
I would go out more daily and post all the tickets, check on all the campers. I'd do the first shift on cleaning the bathrooms and everything like that. Get all of that stuff out of the way in the morning so that his crew's not tied up doing that. And then just have his crew go, when they're out and about, like Alex out at the lake or whatever, stop in, just check the bathrooms, things like that, so.
Our staff isn't afraid to work. It's just a matter of there's a lot of directions that are being pulled.
Yep. No.
Anything else?
Thank you.
Okay, ice arena, it's kind of winding down. We have probably our biggest tournament team-wise. This weekend is a men's tournament. Counted up their hours, they'll be using 57 hours on both rinks put together. Starts tomorrow, they moved it up. Both rinks are starting at about noon, get done at 9. Saturday is about 8 to 10. Sunday is about 8 to 3:30. Hockey added a couple skills clinics. They did 2 this week and 3 next week. The last one's on the 20th, so the week of the 24th, we're planning on taking out the ice in the north rink. Next weekend will be our last weekend for bumper cars and open skate. Figure skating goes until April 30th, and that's through their contract. We're supposed to have the rinks up through the 30th. Then that first week of May, we'll take out the south rink. We did get all of the vents fixed on the roof from when the snow crushed them. The estimated bill I haven't seen from Tashier's, but their estimate was $17,000 to $22,000, but that will be covered by insurance. Still looking at options on how to stop that. We've thought of some heat tape, icebreakers all the way across, a couple rows of them, maybe some V-shaped ones and tall ones in front of all the vents. Working with the engineers on that. We do have around $96,300 carrying over the past couple of years for improvements for that roof. Some of that is still going to some leaking problems as well, but we had talked to, someone had mentioned to, I think Jeff Smith or maybe the mayor about tinting the outside windows in the south rink lobby. So the Sam Tronis Memorial Fund said they would pay for half of that. Chris Tronis, Triumph Tunes, was over there yesterday, so we did get those tinted. There is still a little bit of glare when you're in the lobby looking in the rink, but it's a lot better than it was when that sun's coming through. At Cadwell, everything started up this week. Everyone was ready to go. We were just able to get on the fields last Friday, so we're a little behind on stuff. We have 7 doubleheaders this week between Mitchell baseball, Mitchell softball, DW baseball, and softball. We got all the water turned on to the bathrooms. Bases are out, garbage cans. We put up the batting cage, the hitter's eye, prepping for games, painting foul lines, lots of garbage and sticks after all the snow's finally gone. And it's very dry out, surprisingly, with as much snow as we got. So we'll see what we get. Hopefully we get rain tomorrow. There's a little bit of chance next week, but we're probably going to be turning on irrigation to Cadwell and soccer next week. Sunshades, we have our first tournament on May 6th is the early bird tournament, so we'll have sunshades up for then. Then men's and women's start on the Wednesday, Thursday that next week. Out at soccer, the same thing. They're ready to go. We have laid out, painted, and put nets on 19 different fields. Wesleyan added a field. I think that says 18 up there. But Mitchell soccer started on April 3rd. They went indoors until this last Tuesday. They went outdoors, and they have games on 3 of those fields. I don't think they start this Saturday. It might be next Saturday, but they do that for 5 weeks. DW is using 2 fields, but that's just for the next couple weeks till school gets out. And yeah, like I said, we got the water turned on to the Fisher Building for painting. The bathrooms got turned on yesterday. And just putting out garbage cans. Got all the nets on already, and everything's painted, so.
Anything else for Jeremy?
Thank you.
As Kevin noted, we spent a lot of time, they have especially, talking about lifeguards and WSIs, and we've had conversations, I with him, and then I with both he and Jamie, and then with HR as well, and with Stephanie, so a lot of time has been spending on spent on advertising, on marketing, on going about being able to find them a little bit better pay rate than what they had before to help appeal to them. So it's not just second-hand work for it. It's something that's been sleep loss over addressing this. As I mentioned in my board notes here, budget carryover, we're able to get some other projects that add to the arena roof money, as well as some equipment needs, mostly for Steve, some for Jeremy, as well as for some things over there. Campground host, we both talked about that. The pickleball grant application was submitted today. I was about the deadline here being in a couple of weeks, but it's been posted on our website for people to view, looking at public comment, and there's not been any comments, so we proceeded with sending that in. A couple other things. There's another lake informational meeting coming up on Tuesday, May 9th. The first and also one else saying it will be on the 16th, but it will be Tuesday, May 9th. And that's regarding getting people informed on what's going on in terms of what the intent is with drawdown and the potential dredging of the lake. Again, that'll be coming up on May 9th, Tuesday night. And instead of being out at, was it the day camp last year? Or Sportsman's Club? Sportsman's Club. This year we'll be in the Corn Palace, because last year we were at full capacity out there, and it rained that night on top of it, so it will be inside the Corn Palace. John Park, Jeremy's addressing some minor needs out there that they have, and they do have some larger requests, but those will need to come in conjunction with budget being adequate to support being able to do that. They've had some minor fundraising that they've been doing to try to raise funds for a shelter out there, which have had some limited success, and they'd like to be able to proceed with that at some point, but again, a budget needs to meet that, or hopefully to proceed with that. But Jeremy will be addressing some other issues around some of the structures that are in there that have gotten kind of worn down and mud develops when it gets a little bit wet, so we'll work with that. And they found some other tables they'll be able to have in there that are not picnic tables. We don't have any specific that are dedicated to them yet, but they're going to have some wooden spools that are for from cable that'll be out there within the next few weeks after Jeremy's done with the ice removal at the rinks and getting baseball season and soccer season fully off the ground, and softball, excuse me, for underrating what you do out there, Jeremy. I think, Kevin, we were going to talk a little bit about pool temp as well, if you want to hit that.
Yeah, so I forgot to mention that in my report, but for the outdoor pool, I don't think we've ever really had an official policy on air temperature and when we should close the pool. We've always kind of had it in our rules that it's 64 degrees and below, we close. That's pretty cold. And then usually we don't have anybody there. And we've called around, and it's basically it's anywhere from 65 degrees to 70 degrees is where people are at. We'd like to go up a couple ticks, but with the, like, I don't, if we want to pick 66 degrees, let's say, but if it's 65 and it's sunny and no wind and kind of nice and there's some people there, have that discretion to stay open. But if it's 66 and it's cloudy and windy, yeah, let's close. So we just kind of like to have an official policy from the board for something that we could go off of. So I don't know, our recommendation would be from anywhere from in the middle, 65 to 68 degrees. I don't know what the right number is. It all depends on kind of what the weather is at the time, but we'd like to have that discretion to where if we do say it's 66, but it's 65 out, well, you're supposed to close. Well, it's sunny out and there's no wind, so we could stay open and we've got 50 people here. Or maybe we'd also maybe like to include in there if there's less than 15 kids or 15 patrons there, close it down after with maybe an hour left to go at 5 o'clock or something.
Where it was, our minimum number was 25.
25, yeah. So what that number is, I'm whatever, but.
You have to have some discretion too, in that if it's 65 and sunny and no wind.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If we have 50 people there that want to stay for that,
If it's 68 windy and cloudy,
Yeah.
it's not comfortable.
right. So that's kind of what we'd like to have this kind of say. I know it makes it a little vague, but it gives you some leeway there. versus just a steadfast, it's 64, we're closed.
As long as Jamie's staff is consistent upon what they're
Yep.
doing.
Yep.
There's a little wiggle room.
Yeah.
If they're not consistent, then we need to draw it more.
So do we need an official policy, or?
It's a tough official policy.
It is, I know. It can get a little wordy in that, I know. So just leave it up to our discretion. Anything over 65 is up to our discretion. Anything under 65 is a no-go. Yes, the other way around. For 66, yeah, anything under that is under our discretion. Anything over that is, yeah.
If you're looking for a formal.
And the number of, maybe the number of patrons, we might need a,
Can't formally vote it.
Right.
Oh,
If you're
yeah.
looking for a formal, we need to move forward to another meeting.
yeah, we'll talk about that at the next meeting then. As far as like the number of patrons, we probably need that, so. Okay.
But you've just gone with a case by case, making a judgment call with your management and with Jamie up to this point.
Yeah, well, we've always been at 64, and
Wow.
it's cold.
I can bet nobody whines about it having closed
No,
because
because
it's
there's
dark
nobody
cold by the
there.
time you
Yeah,
do close
there's
it.
probably 3 there.
Let's say, have you ever had a complaint about it being closed?
Not when it's like that. Only, except for last year when we didn't have a pool heater for the first couple of weeks, then they did, but normally they did.
And that second pool heater is
Should be-
scheduled to be replaced prior to the pool opening.
It's supposed to be by the end of this month, is what he's got it scheduled for, so.
Let's say the only complaint I've ever had about pool closures is the inside one, when people are talking about weather and lightning, and they're
Right.
like, we don't see it, and
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever heard anyone complaining about it cold.
You'd be surprised.
The other thing is if you adjust that, that'll free up lifeguards too, for time.
Well, and if we were to close the outdoor pool, we'd open up the indoor pool and just have them come over to the indoor pool. I mean, normally when we do that, your pass at the outdoor pool does not get you in to the indoor. So, that's something we can talk about maybe at the next meeting too, but,
You use a stamp and say, this will get you in now at the
yeah.
rec center.
Yeah, I mean, we'd have to look at that, but if you get a day pass, you get a day pass, but for members, your membership at the outdoor pool has always been only for the outdoor pool. And that's, that's been in the business plan that was approved 5 or 6 years ago. Because they talked about combining rec center and outdoor pool memberships, and they said that's not a good idea,
So
so.
maybe some stamp that says rain day or something to where it.
Something like that possibly, yeah, or a reduced rate or something, I don't know, so.
Sort of discussion.
Yeah, definitely.
Thank you. Next item we have on our agenda is the MSHA rental rate for summer non-ice usage.
I got approached by the hockey president a few weeks ago, wondering about what a rate would be in the summer when there's no ice. I think they were looking at maybe doing some rollerblading with some balls and stuff like that. There would be, well, they could bear it, but there would be times you don't want to be in there in the summertime. It gets deathly hot, but earlier in the mornings, earlier in the summer, later in the summer, but, excuse me, we've never had a rate. No one's ever really rented it hourly or anything like that. We've had a couple groups come in a while ago. I think we had a beanbag tournament and maybe a cheerleading something 5 or 6 years ago, but we never had an hourly rate. And really for us, it's not really any maintenance. Cleaning some bathrooms, emptying some garbages. I have summer help around for that. I don't know what rollerblades do to concrete, if we would need to scrub the floor more, but I wouldn't really think so. But it was just a discussion to bring up about what a rate could be, should be.
To clarify, would you be looking at staffing during those times, or simply you'd open the door and they'd have to be with a coach to be in there?
Yep, they would be with the coach in there. It's pretty much with the ball and rollerblades, they're playing, practicing, doing drills, whatever they want to do. It would be supervised.
So our only extra cost would be lights and then staff to clean.
Yep.
Or
Yep.
10 hours or whatever you want.
We kind of discussed a rate of 25 an hour, which is, again, no ice, like you said, lights, and cleaning time.
You think the 25 covers everything?
I think so, yeah.
Discretion thing again, as long as we're consistent.
I think so, because they have no, like, they may try it and it doesn't work, or
Yeah.
you have to start charging, or, just thinking through it. How many kids you actually can get?
Well, that's it. Coming off of a 6-month hockey season, and then maybe you take a couple months off, and I go in there at 7 in the morning, and it's 85 degrees in there already from the day before.
They might get kids who aren't involved in other sports in the summer.
Yep.
Or really dedicated hockey players going to do drills, but kids who work in other sports and hockey, boy,
Yep.
driving butt by the time you get to the next
And I would think they'd use the shooting cage actually more than the roller. Like, I'm just thinking about my boys. My boys went up there, it would be to use the shooting cage.
We kind of pull that back and use it to store about 8 carts and 4 Cushmans, and,
Anyway.
yeah. Some of our equipment we don't want on the rink, but we need spots to put it in there in case, some oil leaks or something, and that's kind of the only spot in the rink to do that.
We need a motion to set the rate then, or?
Can't, it's a discussion item.
Okay.
Would have to be brought back to next month's meeting.
Yeah, just a discussion. He was wondering, we could set a rate. I just,
They won't start until June anyhow, what are you talking about? This is,
I wouldn't think so. Their drop hockey is, all their, you come off of a long season, the kids kind of need a break and a break from that building, and,
so we can have them on the agenda.
Yep.
exactly.
yep.
The next item we have is an executive session to discuss marketing and pricing strategies, so I'll need a motion to enter that.
Make a motion to go into executive session.
Do a motion and a second to enter executive session. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed say no.